Hello guys and gals, me Mutahar, and things are really disgusting sometimes, ladies and gentlemen. I think with all the years we spent on the dark web and just browsing things like we normally would, what's really scary about any of this is that when we look at the concepts of red rooms or live streams where, people are hurt, and much worse, it's always been this fantasy and this weird, like, this weird urban legend of the internet, right? But when you look at what happens in the regular side of the internet, the clear web, the Facebooks, the Twitches, the YouTubes, the Daily Motions, there's a lot more darker stuff right here than there ever would be strictly on the deep web. Now, this is a video that I'm probably going to be uploading this really late at night, and that's because it's been on my mind for a lot of hours. This is some real Black Mirror type of stuff. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know what's gone on, there's been a weird side of controversy on the Russian YouTube side. In fact, it's not even controversy, it's downright really scary. So if you don't know what's happened, a Russian YouTuber, a Russian degenerate, one that I don't even want to name anymore, and one whose channel has been deactivated or deleted, I really don't know at this point, but an individual that basically live streamed abuse and effectively double murder, all right? And if that sounds crazy, let me just guide you through it, okay? Now, ladies and gentlemen, this individual over here, all right, was actually running a live stream, sort of like a just chatting thing for people on YouTube or Twitch. I actually don't know where this live broadcast actually happened. It might have been YouTube, it might have been any other website, it might have been a situation where this person who is predominantly known as a YouTuber might actually have been streaming to a totally different website like Twitch or whatever equivalent exists in his or her land, and that's sort of been the case, right? But I really don't know where the broadcast was, but what was contained in the broadcast was some of the most degenerate shit that I could ever see. Now, if you don't know, a lot of online streaming relies on donations and sponsorships and whatnot. A lot of these smaller channels will rely on donations for streams, right? People chip in a couple bucks, they send a message, they ask to do something weird. What if I told you the thousands of people that were on this stream, all right, the tens of thousands, apparently from some people's records, actually paid money to abuse this dude's fucking girlfriend? It sounds really weird and it sounds really fucking disgusting, and that's because it is, all right? Somebody ended up paying this dude around 800 pounds or $1,000 if you wanted to do the conversion, and the whole premise was basically, if I give you $1,000, can you lock out, I believe, his girlfriend, a pregnant girlfriend at the time, outside into the fucking wintry colds of Russia for a couple minutes at the most, right? Now, I don't know how to really tell you guys this, but first of all, when you go out in the cold, all right, Canada and Russia are some of the coldest places in the fucking world, right? If you go out into the cold, especially with a lack of clothes on, like in this case, and you're out there for minutes, your body goes into a state of hypothermia, right? And hypothermia can be very dangerous. It's why when you're out surviving in the woods, a fire is the most important thing, because even without wintry weather and just a chilly night, hypothermia can set in and really do not just some damage to the body, but put it in a state of near death, and in some cases lead right into that fucking pit to begin with. For $1,000, this dude basically abused another individual, let them go out, forced them outside into the fucking colds of Moscow, all right, or outside Moscow, and let them fucking die. Now, ladies and gentlemen, when we started this video off, I talked about the red rooms, and it talked about people who basically paid other individuals for abuse and killing. This is exactly what fucking happened in this case. It's incredibly disgusting, and it's actually a real shock. Like, 2020 cannot even strive to get better. It just has to find one fucking way to go down even further. There's something that actually kicked in, okay? There was activists that basically striked out at YouTube in this case, specifically for banning, pieces of nudity, but casually just allowing this kind of content. And until, I guess, this whole issue of calmly broadcasting this kind of messed up behavior, censorship is necessary, I think this is a very, off take to have, simply because, you can't just ban content like this. I think most people don't understand is when you're doing live streams from your actual home to the web, there's 100,000 other people actually doing it at the same time. It's an incredibly difficult system to moderate. You can't have an actual human person watch every single live stream. That's just physically fucking impossible. You might be able to justify having a person on a live stream that say gets over 20,000 viewers, 10,000 viewers, and you might be able to justify it. But even then, it can be quite difficult to moderate and monitor. Now, that could be for any website, not just YouTube. It could be Facebook Live, it could be Twitch, it could be Twitter, it could be be TikTok, it could be any website. Just moderating user-generated content is very difficult. But I do agree that a system needs to be implemented to help ensure that these multiple hour-long broadcasts that were never shut down and deleted or dealt with in any case, right? These multiple hour-long broadcasts should have probably been investigated during their fucking occurrence, right? Because what effectively had happened was this girl was locked out. She fucking died of hypothermia on stream for just $1,000 fucking dollars, by the way, and then was basically dead for like 2 hours before the stream fucking ended, right? Like, this was an actual like snuff production that occurred in front of you. Now, I guess a lot of people could say this would have been an accident, but I like to think that an accident is something that, you know, it's something that is very unintentional. I think when you get paid $1,000 fucking dollars and then force another human being outside a goddamn fucking house in the cold, all right, especially when they're pregnant, especially when they need the most stable, healthy conditions possible, yeah, that's not really fucking accidental. That's actually, what's the other, manslaughter. That's the fucking word for it. It's manslaughter, and in my opinion, it goes into the fucking double murder side of things. Now, I've been kind of reading up just the stuff over and over all the way today, okay? And the amount of prison sentences has actually disgusted me. In a way, there's almost a chance that this person could only get, like, what, 2 years in prison, right? He could only get 2 years if forensic experts prove she died of hypothermia. Apparently, in Russian law, which is where this is done, that might be a reality. In another case, I've heard that it can be all the way up to like 15 fucking years, which, in my opinion, all of that is very little, because when you commit a double homicide, I think that's what we call a life fucking imprisonment at this point. Like, that's actually messed up. And I mean, to do this is actually not only abusive, not only negligent, but it's just absolutely disgusting. And it's one of those things that, you know, there's a lot of stuff that happens on social media. There's a lot of stuff that happens on YouTube that we can look at and we can say, that's pretty bad. We can sort of laugh at it. We can sort of like, you know, kind of cringe at it. But in this case, there's no cringing. It's legitimately just homicidal fucking behavior. The only reason I'm making a video on this is I genuinely can't really fucking sleep because of thinking about it. This brings me back to an era over 10, almost 15 years ago when it comes to things like 4chan, when it comes to like people who are live streaming like straight death on platforms, right? I mean, if I want to get real with you guys real quick, this reminds me of an era way back in the day. And this is like, again, 15 years ago. This is when I was in like the 8th grade, the 9th grade, like just going into that grade at that point. And an individual had actually killed themselves. People who were watching the stream had goaded him on into actually ending his life with pills. That person was dead for hours. Everyone was memeing. Everyone thought it was a fucking joke until paramedics had walked in and basically confirmed this dude as actually dead for several fucking hours. It was big. It was in the news. I remembered seeing it, and it actually is the one memory that sticks with me for years on end. I've seen a lot of fucked up shit on the internet, and that's the one thing that just keeps, that just stays buried into my head. I've been watching the multiple video highlights of this, and I refuse to show it. I refuse to do anything because it's really fucked up. And it not only does it obviously put a tear into my eyes, but it's like, it's just a fucked up premise to see. It's just a fucked up situation to actually completely witness. And the fact that it happened over live streaming culture is just absolutely abhorrently disgusting. And it reflects poorly on all of us, even though that the situation is incredibly fucking hyperbolic. And it's only applicable because the dumbass who streamed it in this case is actually that, a complete degenerate douche dumbass. And I'm not afraid to say it because this person is facing very serious criminal penalties, like they fucking should. They legitimately killed 2 people on stream. 2 people on stream over $1,000 fucking dollars. And to be fair with you, even the people that are watching the stream pretty much contributing to murder monetarily, you know, offering support just by viewing the stream, I think face a degree of responsibility and criminality and all this bullshit anyways. It's kind of the most fucking insane thing in the world that I've seen in 2020 so far, in a year where every month just keeps getting more and more fucking insane. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a weird situation, and it's developing as time goes on, but I actually cannot get this out of my head at this point. As somebody that's covered the deep web and all this kind of like weird internet mystery shit, it's really, when you look at internet mysteries and you look at the deep web and you look at these red rooms, you can laugh them off because most of the times it's just fictional fucking bullshit. But when you see reality kind of hit you in the face, you know, like a truck, I don't know, man. It really sets things into perspective. So yeah, no, this is without a doubt the most degenerate stream and the most degenerate streamer that I have ever actually witnessed. And I hope the full extent of the law does get enacted on him. But I do hope going forward that, like people have been criticizing multiple social media systems for, when you have these multiple hour live streams and people start, actually doing some really dangerous behavior, like, putting somebody out in a state of hypothermia, maybe there needs to be a better form of intervention. Maybe there needs to be something beyond it. I don't think blaming the fucking messenger is necessarily the smart play in this case. I think enacting better forms of enforcement might be what we need. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, screw this individual. I despise this. Is without a doubt the most disgusting fucking news in the world that I've ever seen. And I don't know if I'll be able to sleep tonight. I'm probably going to do something else. It's fucked with me. Ladies and gentlemen, this is me, Mudahar, and I am out.